So I've been out and bought some props so I can demonstrate something to you. Wes Streeting has recently announced there's going to be an investigation into the overdiagnosis of ADHD, autism and mental health. So let's get one thing cleared up first. ADHD and autism are neurodivergent conditions. Mental health is a separate condition. They aren't linked. However, someone that's neurodivergent may be more prevalent to getting mental health conditions. And we can cover that. You'll see that in this demonstration as to why. So I want to talk about the so-called overdiagnosis. Why are we seeing more ADHD and autism neurodivergent conditions in the UK at the moment? And the answer's pretty simple. There's 3 parts to it. So first 2 parts I'll cover in another video. We've got multiplication where families join, families grow, and it's just a normal multiplication effect. You will get more prevalence of neurodiversity as these families, neurotypical and neurodivergent families, converge. The second one, well, that's just more knowledge. Our experts are building knowledge on neurodiversity all of the time, and we know so much more than we did in, say, the 1980s or the 1960s. For example, in the 1960s, we thought autism was a psychosis. But then again, we thought smoking was good for us back then too. It just shows we are learning more and more as time progresses. And then we come on to the other one. So this is environmental load. And this is what I want to cover in this video and in this demonstration. So let's call this glass. This is the average person in 1986. I choose 1986 because that's when GCSEs first came about in schools. And this one, well, this is 2025, is now. So if we think about the environmental load, 1986 versus 2025. And let's think back, for those that are old enough, what it was like. So let's start with lighting, okay? Lighting, it was very yellow, it was just standard bulbs. It was a warm light, not the cold blue tones that we get now. So yeah, lighting didn't really have much of an effect, but it has a bit of an effect on us, on our environmental load nowadays. And it's constant as well, it's always there. You've got more prevalence of using screens. Probably just had a TV in the corner back in 1986, no phone in your pocket, certainly didn't have a screen on it. And then let's think about the auditory landscape. So you've got phones, music. So phones didn't exist. Well, they did, you had the landline, it would ring. But if you were out the house, it wouldn't. So not much there. Now we've got mobile phones constantly in our pocket, constantly updating us. And then you've got the hum of chargers and routers and servers and constant notifications that is all building up that environmental load on us. And then if we think social, so again, phones, they don't switch off. And this information, this cognitive load is coming at us and coming at us. So if you think of 1986, it's kind of like drinking water through a straw. In 2025, it's kind of drinking water from a fire hose. It is overloading us. It's constant. It just does not stop. And if you think about it, back in 1986, the media, all the news, we didn't see as much of this bad news, all the bad things that are happening in the world. We maybe watched the news at 6 p.m. or if we're going to be a rebel, we'd stay up to 10. Now it is constant. We're watching the video while we're reading the captions and checking the comments, and banner notifications pop up and you've got 15 tabs open in your head and it overflows. And then that's when you get that mental health issue. So what we could do what Australia are doing. We can take away a little bit of that load. We can stop social media. But what does that teach children? They turn 18, suddenly, boom, it's there again. And there's a cost to, in the UK, the NHS, mental health services, etc. So what do we need to do about it? Well, we can't really change our environmental load. We've got to go to the supermarket with the noise and the lights. We've got to travel in our car with the constant hum of the traffic. We cannot change the environment we're in. That's it. We can maybe have a little bit less social media, but however, everything's done on social media. So what do? What we need to do is change the education system. So we teach children the Battle of Hastings in 1066, chiaroscuro is a form of shading. But what we don't teach them is how to get more capacity in their glass. Now, if you teach children how to get more capacity in the glass, how to deal with the environmental stresses, we will get a lot less prevalence of the mental health issues. We have always had neurodivergence. It's always been there. If you look back to, say, Einstein and some of the greats, they had massive amounts of neurodivergent traits. But what they didn't have is this environmental load, constantly filling their glasses up. So this is what we have to do. We have to change the education system. We haven't really changed it since 1986. We need to change it to allow children to get more capacity in their glasses. If you like this video and you want to watch some more, please like, subscribe, please share my videos also to help others. Also, you can find out information and some free worksheets on how the environment affects us on my website, www.binmantoboardroom.com. Thank you for listening.